Hello, this is the DJ Awesome Show with Ryan and
Mikhail.
This is the Alice programming class. Our guest from the Alice programming class.
And we have a few questions for our guests today. What's our first question, Ryan?
What was your favorite project?
Today we're going to start with Kenny, asking him what his favorite project was. So Kenny, what is your take on that?
Well, I would say that my favorite project would also be our Thomas and I's favorite, final project, which would be a first-person shooter game, which went pretty well.
Yep, it did. And that would be my favorite too, because we got to just make a lot of fun things in the game.
All right, well, thank you, Kenny and Thomas. We also have our guest here today. What did you think about your final project?
I thought my final project was fun and very entertaining, and I really liked working on it.
Great. Can you say your name for us?
My name's Karishma.
All right, thank you, Karishma. And we have some more guests. Let's ask them about their final project.
My name's Shreya, and I think that my favorite project actually was the final project, like everyone else. It was probably the reason I did the Alice 3D programming, and I also got to work on it at home, and I got to do what I wanted.
Sounds great. Thank you. And we have one more guest about his favorite project.
My favorite project was also the final project. It was sort of a mix of 3 different things, and it almost worked.
All right. Well, thank you for that. What's our other question we have? Mikhail?
How do you think you did on the project?
All right. We want to know how you think you did. Do you think you did really excellent? Just okay? Is there anything that you would have changed if you could have? Let's ask Kenny and Thomas again.
Well, I think our project went pretty well.
Yep, everything seemed to work in our project, and
I think we should have made it bigger, though.
Yeah, we should have made a little bit more content in it, but what we made worked, so
we were happy about that.
All right, thank you, boys. And Karishma?
I think mine turned out okay. It didn't save yesterday, so I lost some of the things I did, but I think it turned out okay. I really liked it.
All right, very nice. And Shreya?
I think mine turned out great. If I had to change something, it would probably just be like the minor details and just like a few bugs that I had in it. And overall, I thought it was pretty good.
And what do you think, buddy?
I thought it went pretty well, except for the minor flaw, and I'm probably going to work on it more to refine that.
All right, thanks, Jake. Rayan, what's our next question?
Have you ever been to another location?
Is Herndon your only first location you've been to? Have you experienced Fairfax Collegiate other places? We want to know how Herndon compares. Kenny and Thomas?
Well, actually, I've never been outside of Herndon for Fairfax Collegiate. However, next week I'm going to Reston, which is going to be pretty interesting.
What will you be taking at Reston?
I believe I'll be taking genetics and robot programming.
Oh, that sounds exciting. Thomas?
I came to this camp last year for my first time, and I've only been to the Herndon one, or this one, so.
What did you take last year?
I take Python game programming and a, essay writing course.
How did this Python game programming class compare to Alice 3D?
It was a lot harder, and I think Kenny would agree, because he was in the class too. Yeah, it was a lot harder, but you could do a lot more stuff with it.
All right, well, your project looked pretty cool with Alice. How about you, Karishma?
I went to Fairfax Collegiate last year here in Herndon, and this year, but I've never been outside of Herndon for Fairfax Collegiate.
What did you take last year?
I took TJ prep class and expository writing.
Ah, so you get to explore different aspects this year with game programming. Very cool. So what do you like better, writing or game programming?
Game programming.
Ah, sounds like a good choice. How about you, Shreya?
Well, actually, this isn't my closest location. I came here last session and this session for genetics and game programming. Last year, I came to the Chantilly and Fairfax locations, which are, closer for me. And
what did you think about those locations in comparison to Herndon?
Oh, well, I don't think I really have any opinion about the comparison. But, they're all really nice locations.
All right. Well, thank you for that positive outlook. And Jake, what do you think?
I've never been outside the Herndon area either, like Fairfax Collegiate, but I was here 3 years ago and did robotics, so that was pretty fun.
Did you like robotics?
Yeah.
What did you do in robotics?
We built robots and then we like sort of battled them against each other, and ours won every single time.
Wow, it sounds like you had a pretty mighty robot there. All right, Mikhail, what's our next question we have for our guest today?
What exactly did you learn in this class?
What exactly did you learn? What are you taking with you after your 2 weeks of Alice 3D programming, Kenny?
I think probably the biggest thing I learned is how to deal with 3D graphics when you're making games and videos and stuff like that. I like this class. It was really cool, and it was the first time I actually got to make 3D videos that looks kind of realistic.
All right, very nice. Thomas?
Well, Python programming deals with like 2D mostly for beginners, and so learning about 3D objects was a lot different, and I learned a lot about that too.
All right, building on what you've already learned. Wonderful. And Karishma?
I'm going to take my experience with Alice, the program, and I'm probably going to use it for school and other projects because it's a really cool program.
All right, very nice. And Shreya?
Well, Alice taught me a lot about programming, and that I hope maybe when I'm in high school or something, it'll act as a base foundation for when I do programming of my own for like other projects.
All right, very nice. And Jake?
I'm probably going to use it for school too. I have it in my house. Have it on my computer at home, so probably going to use it there just for fun.
All right, having fun with programming. All right, Rayon, what's another question we have for our guest today?
What other class would you take?
If you decided to continue with Fairfax Collegiate, what other classes might be interesting for you?
That's actually a really tough decision. I would probably take either another programming class, or I would probably take mock trial, which seems to be something pretty interesting that somebody recommended to me.
Mock trial is right in your alley of public speaking, because don't you also take Model UN?
Yep.
All right, so mock trial would definitely be an interesting class to take. Thomas?
I would probably have to take Java programming just because that is like probably the most widely used programming language, and I still haven't taken it yet, so I would want to learn a lot about that.
All right, building on your foundations. Krishma?
I would probably take a debate class, and I think there's an acting class that I'm really interested in taking.
There is acting. We also have filmmaking, too, so you get to experience several parts of the filmmaking process. In fact, I was a filmmaking teacher last session at Chantilly. You start in the proposal, write the script, act, make the movie, and edit all in one. And there is an acting class that is specifically geared towards just film acting as well. Does that sound like something you'd be interested in taking?
Yeah. Yes, it does.
All right, very nice. Hopefully you'll have a good summer in the future with that acting class. And Shreya?
Oh, I would probably take forensic science because I've been interested in those things that deal with like mysteries and murder cases.
Oh, you'd be your own CIA agent. Very cool. All right, and Jake, what would you take?
I would probably take filmmaking. I was deciding whether or not to do that this year, but I didn't, so.
Well, Rayon and Michaela, didn't you take a film class last session? What did you think about the filmmaking class?
It was fun. Yeah.
All right, so you heard it from our host here. Filmmaking was indeed fun, so it sounds like a good class to take in the future. Do we have any more questions for them, Michaela? What else have we asked? Well, I have a question. Overall, how did you enjoy the class of Alice and your experience in general here at Herndon and with Fairfax Collegiate?
I thought that the Alice class was great, and I actually thought that Herndon as a whole is a great location for Fairfax Collegiate. It's a lot of fun, and the people here are really nice.
All right, well, thank you. And Thomas?
I had a great time doing Alice. I learned a lot, and I would probably be using it at home for just doing random funny things on it.
All right, very cool. Krishma?
Yeah, I learned a lot in the Alice class, and I think that I will definitely use it again, and it was just a really great thing to know how to do.
All right, Shreya?
Well, this was my first time being in the world of programming, and I think I learned a lot. And hopefully, yeah, as I said before, it will serve as a base for what I do in the future with programming.
All right, thank you. And Jake?
I learned a lot because, as she said, this is my first time also in programming, so I learned a lot, yeah.
Awesome. Any more questions from our host, Rayon and Mikhail?
No.
All right, I think we're all done with questions. Thank you again. This is Rayon and Mikhail from the DJ Awesome Radio Show. Thank you to our guests from the Alice 3-Day Programming Show, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your summer. Signing off. Bye.